All right, let's cut the crap and dive right into Michelle Pfeiffer. You think you know her, right? The hottie, Catwoman, all that.
Sure, the image is there, but
But there's a hell of a lot more to her.
oh, absolutely, way more than just a pretty face. We're going way deeper than those magazine covers. Pfeiffer's career is nuts.
Nuts good or nuts bad?
Oh, nuts good. A wild ride. And her personal life is, well, let's just say it's got more drama than some of her movies.
Juicy. So, California girl, born in 58, beauty queen, worked as a supermarket checkout girl. Sounds like they, wrote a Hollywood story about it.
Yeah, that's the surface, right? But then she's a court stenographer. That's a curveball. Shows she had, like, this practical side even back then.
Not just another pretty face.
Not even before she hit it big.
Okay, so Grease 2. Not exactly a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But she was the best thing in it.
Oh, for sure.
Then Scarface, that totally fucked up gangster flick, she holds her own against Pacino.
Totally.
What's the deal with De Palma not even wanting to audition her?
De Palma, he got stuck on that Grease 2 thing.
Figured she was just another blonde bombshell.
Exactly. Thought she couldn't handle it. Luckily, the producer, he saw something more, and damn, did she prove De Palma wrong.
She brought this vulnerability, right, to Elvira. This tragic beauty thing.
Made her stand out in this movie full of totally over-the-top crazy.
So it's like she used that whole bimbo image to her advantage and bam, surprised everyone.
Yeah. Use those expectations, flip them on their head.
Brilliant.
Total pattern throughout her career,
Okay, so then she's in everything, right?
Very much.
Fantasy flicks like Lady Hawk, that whole crazy witch thing in The Witches of Eastwick. But Married to the Mob and Dangerous Liaisons.
That's when people really took notice.
Yeah, Oscar noms, a BAFTA. Not bad for a girl from the checkout line.
She transformed for each role, that thick Brooklyn accent in Mob Pure Gold.
Amazing.
And then playing all virtuous, almost saintly in Liaisons after that.
Talk about range.
Tough, innocent, and she made you believe it every time.
And the Fabulous Baker Boys. That piano scene, come on, is pure sex appeal. She trained her ass off, singing every note herself.
Talk about dedication. That role, it solidified her.
Yeah.
As a serious artist, not just another pretty face. The critics, they were losing their minds, and she deserved it. It was a statement. She was in control.
And then, to prove it even more, she starts her own production company, Via Rosa. Smart move.
Absolutely. She wasn't going to be some pawn in the Hollywood game.
Right.
She was going to call the shots, choose her projects. Love Field was hers.
Won awards for that one, too.
And it was risky. Racially charged love story in the 60s, but she nailed it. Nailed it.
Okay, let's be real. Her Catwoman in Batman Returns.
Still the best.
Hands down. That leather, the whip, damn.
But then, like you said, tons of other stuff.
Age of Innocence, Dangerous Minds, even voice acting in Prince of Egypt.
Variety.
Gotta keep things interesting.
Exactly. And let's not forget the witch.
Which witch?
In Stardust.
Oh, right.
Pfeiffer. She's not afraid to get dark and twisty.
That's what makes her so interesting.
No, I know, right?
Okay, time for the dirt.
Huh.
2 marriages.
Yeah.
An adoption. A fling with Fisher Stevens. Wasn't all sunshine and roses, huh?
No, definitely not. And that thing with John Malkovich during Dangerous Liaisons.
Ooh, yeah, come on, give us the goods.
Talk about on-set romance. Definitely makes watching that movie a little different.
Knowing what was going on.
Behind the scenes.
So she takes a break, focuses on family.
Right.
But then, bam, she's back in 2017. Where's Kyra? Mother. Ooh, Murder on the Orient Express. Guess you can't keep a good woman down.
And those roles, intense, showed this whole other level.
Well, she went deeper.
Way deeper. And then the Marvel Universe, Janet Van Dyne in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Hold on. Gotta rewind. We need to talk more about this comeback. What got her back to acting? What was different about these roles?
Well, it seemed like she found a balance. Her kids were older. She had the family thing she wanted. And Hollywood was finally ready to offer her, real roles.
So she wasn't taking just anything.
No, she was waiting.
For the right one.
For roles that would, push her, make her think, maybe scare her a little.
So you can see it in those performances.
Oh, yeah. This intensity, this rawness that wasn't there before. It's like she's tapping into something,
Deeper.
Yeah.
Deeper. All right, so beauty queen to box office, badass.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer's done it all. But what's the thing that connects it all? What makes her tick?
She just refuses to be put in a box.
She's always changing, always evolving, defying expectations.
Right.
Pushing those boundaries. She's not afraid to be vulnerable, to be powerful.
Or to be unpredictable.
Exactly. And that's why we're still talking about her. Decades later, she's not just an actress, she's a force of nature. But there's so much more to, unpack here. Let's dive even deeper into Michelle Pfeiffer.
It's crazy, how she almost missed out on some of those roles.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine anyone else as Catwoman?
Nope.
But you mentioned that production company thing, Via Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just, for show, or was she really calling the shot?
Oh, she was calling the shots, for sure. Formed it back in 1990 with Kate Ginsburg. Had this deal with Disney's Touchstone Pictures.
Fancy.
Yeah, and they were making movies that, actually had something to say.
Not just popcorn flicks.
Right, like Love Field, dealing with racism, prejudice, in the South during the Civil Rights era.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, and then Dangerous Minds. That teacher who connects with those inner city kids, but in a totally different way.
So she was picking projects that were, challenging, not just going for the easy money.
Exactly. She was using her power for, something good.
All right, let's talk about her acting. Critics always go on and on about her range, but what is it, really, what makes her different? Is it just playing different characters, or is there something, I don't know, more?
I think it's more than just, putting on a wig and a different accent.
Right.
It's like she disappears into those characters.
Becomes them.
Yeah, totally. You forget you're watching Michelle Pfeiffer.
It's like magic.
She's got this way of showing emotion, but it's not over the top. It's all in the eyes, those little expressions, the way she, moves.
Yeah, she's not afraid to just be still.
Yeah.
Let the silence, do the talking.
Yeah.
It's like she's inviting you in.
Exactly. Into the character's head. That's what makes her so,
Mesmerizing.
Yeah, mesmerizing. You're not just watching, you're feeling it.
Okay, let's get personal.
Uh-oh.
2 marriages, the adoption, those high-profile romances.
Yeah.
Roller coaster, right? Do you think that whole personal life thing affected her acting?
I think it's impossible to, totally separate them. Life, it changes you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that comes out in your work, whether you want it to or not.
Sure.
I mean, think about the roles she did after her divorce from Peter Horton. There was this fierceness, this, I don't know, independence that wasn't really there before.
Like she tapped into something.
Totally. That strength she needed to get through it all.
And then with David E. Kelly,
Yeah.
it seemed like she found, a solid thing.
Stability, a real partnership.
Right. And that let her take more risks with her career.
Exactly.
She could explore those darker, more complex characters. Because, her personal life was good.
It was like a foundation.
Okay, but let's be real. We can't talk about Michelle Pfeiffer without talking about John Malkovich.
Oh, yeah.
That whole dangerous liaisons thing, come on.
Intense, right?
So intense.
The chemistry on screen, it was like, wow.
You couldn't miss it.
And then they were a thing off screen too.
Right. It just makes you think, how much was real.
It makes it more, I don't know.
Electric.
Yeah. You're watching this forbidden love story and it's mirroring what's really going on.
It's like you're seeing behind the curtain.
Right. It's not just acting anymore.
So then, she takes that break to focus on family, but she's back in 17, full force.
Mm-hmm.
What was the trigger? Was it just an empty nest thing?
I think it was more than that. It was a bunch of things. The kids were older. She had time. But Hollywood was finally, ready for her.
Ready to give her the good stuff.
The roles she deserved.
So she was waiting.
She was done with playing, the girlfriend, the wife.
Right, right.
She wanted more. Something complex, deep.
And she found it in movies like Where is Kyra?
Yeah.
And Mother. Talk about intense and dark.
Totally unexpected.
Not your typical comeback.
No.
Those roles, they pushed her.
To the limit. She had to dig deep.
And then the Marvel thing. Janet Van Dyne.
I mean, who would thought?
Catwoman to superhero.
Full circle, right.
From sex symbol to, this powerful, complex woman.
And that's what's so amazing. She's always changing.
Yeah.
Defying those expectations. Proving women can be, everything. Beautiful, brilliant, vulnerable, and strong.
Okay, so we talked about her career, the personal stuff, her acting. But what about her legacy?
I think she'll be remembered as, an icon. A woman who, broke those barriers, paved the way for other actresses to, demand more.
She showed them that you can be sexy and serious, that you can age gracefully.
You're not fade away.
She's a role model for, women who refuse to be defined by, their age or how they look.
Exactly.
She's proof that you can be powerful and feminine.
Successful and vulnerable, all at the same time.
And that's huge.
Especially in Hollywood, where it's all about, youth and being perfect.
Right. Michelle Pfeiffer is like a reminder that real beauty, it comes from inside.
Your strength, your talent,
And the courage to just be yourself.
no matter what.
All right, so we're going to dive into some of the specific roles that, made Michelle Pfeiffer who she is. We've got a lot more to talk about. All right, so we talked about all the high points, the comeback, all that. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are some of those roles that really, stand out? Show us what she's made of.
Well, you got to start with Scarface. I mean, holding your own against Pacino in that movie, that's not easy.
Yeah, he's a force of nature.
She brought this vulnerability to Elvira, this tragic beauty. It made her stand out, in this movie that's all violence and machismo.
Yeah, like she was the heart of that crazy world.
Right. Even when it was all falling apart, you were rooting for her.
Totally. Okay, what about Married to the Mob?
Oh, man, she totally transformed for that one.
Reaccent, right.
That thick Brooklyn accent, playing this tough mob wife who's trying to get away from it all.
It's funny, but there's this, sadness underneath.
Yeah. She's got this amazing ability to balance that, the humor and the drama, make you laugh and cry all at the same time.
It's like she gets, how complicated people are, how we can be strong and vulnerable.
Exactly. And then you've got dangerous liaisons. She's this, virtuous woman, almost saintly. And she gets seduced by Malkovich.
Right, the tricky role.
But she nails it. You see the innocence, the passion, all of it.
And knowing they were a thing in real life,
Oh,
ooh, it adds a whole other layer to it.
absolutely. The heat between them, you can feel it.
All right, the Fabulous Baker Boys. She's a lounge singer. Right?
Yeah, this sultry, smoky-voiced singer who teams up with these two brothers trying to make a comeback.
And she sang all those songs herself.
Months of training. And it paid off. She totally owned that role. The sexuality, the vulnerability, all of it.
That piano scene. Come on.
I know, right?
Still one of the hottest things ever.
But it's more than that, right? It's how she embodies that character, the confidence and the loneliness.
Like wanting something more.
Exactly. And then you look at those later roles, like Where's Kara? She's this washed-up socialite who's barely holding on after her mother dies.
That was rough.
It's raw, man. And she's totally different, not afraid to be ugly, to show you how desperate this woman is.
Yeah, no glamour there, just raw humanity.
And then there's Mother, that crazy, trippy movie where she plays this almost goddess-like figure.
Totally bonkers.
She commits to it, though. Totally. Brings this, otherworldly beauty and intensity.
It's like she's not even acting, just channeling something else.
Right. And then to go from that to Ant-Man and the Wasp? I mean, come on.
Talk about range.
Gangster's Mall to superhero, seductive siren to grieving mother. She's done it all.
And nailed it every time.
Every time.
All right, so Michelle Pfeiffer, legend. But what's next? What do you think?
Well, based on, everything she's done, I don't think she's slowing down. She's still taking risks, trying new things.
I bet she's got some surprises left.
I wouldn't doubt it. She's always been one step ahead, defying expectations, proving, women can be everything, complex, powerful.
Interested.
And no matter how old they are.
Michelle Pfeiffer, icon, legend. And she's not done yet. That's our deep dive, folks. We hope you learned something, or at least had a good time. Until next time, peace out.